All right. Hey, everybody. Facebook has changed up how they do the going live. So I'm just kind of rolling with this one here. So we'll see, we'll see how this goes. Okay, we are live and playing. Let me make sure to share it here. Give me just a second. All right. It is great to have you all here. We have tonight an awesome guest with us, and I'll bring him in just a second, but I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on right now. So there's a lot of things happening, and just wanted to tell everybody that I had tonight, first night of door knocking of this campaign. So it's the first night I've door knocked in 2 years probably. So since September, October of 2019 that I door knocked last. So I did it over the winter, I guess, but it was awesome. And it was so great to be out with people and to talk to folks face to face. I didn't wear a mask, which I would like everyone's opinion on as to what that means. I asked everybody, most of the people that I talked to, as to if they would rather have me wearing a mask or not, that kind of thing. So it was really good just to chat and to be with folks and to talk about where things are at and where it's going. I'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, I'm going to bring in John Muir, who is the commander at the Shakopee VFW. And John, I've known for quite some time and is just an awesome, awesome guy. And really happy to have him with us. John, I brought you in. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good. Do you want to introduce yourself with a better intro than I could do for you?
How could that be? But my name is John Muir. I'm the current commander at Shakopee Post 4046 VFW.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Veterans Affairs and things going on in Shakopee here. But if anybody has questions or things they want to ask John about what's going on here locally and that kind of thing, just use the comments on the Facebook page and we will get those questions asked. So make sure to use that. And yeah, just thanks so much, John, for being here. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the VFW does and what your mission is and why it's so important to have one here locally?
Absolutely. So what the VFW, their tagline is "No one does more for veterans." The headquarters is down in Kansas City, Missouri. We have a Minnesota detachment here, obviously in Minnesota, and we're part of the 2nd district. It's broken up, obviously, and it rolls up through the state that goes down to HQ in Kansas City. And basically what the Veterans of Foreign Wars does is help veterans gain benefits. There's other organizations that do that, but the Veterans of Foreign Wars specifically, you have to be a member of the VFW, and there's the criteria for that. You have to be overseas at a certain time at a certain place. The American Legion is very similar to that. It just does not have that specific criteria. They just changed it a few years, 1 or 2 years ago. If you're a veteran, you can join after December 7th, 1940 or something like that. So what the VFW basically does is help veterans understand and gain their benefits. There's also a veteran service officer here in Scott County and every county in Minnesota to help with that. But not everybody knows that. And sometimes you just get asked and we point them in the right direction. Or if you Google it, and if you're not getting the help that you need, the Veterans of Foreign Wars will step in and try to help as much as possible. And why it's important to have a local club or a post like this is just camaraderie. We get together, like-minded experiences that's fairly unique in the community. But with that, you don't have to be a member to come down to the post. Everybody is welcome. We have food and drinks, and we have a back room that you can rent in a large parking lot. So we try to be a community supportive, but also focus on veterans as well.
You already answered all my questions. That we should not have talked about this beforehand because you just went through all the things that I talked about.
I'm efficient.
You are efficient and thorough for sure. So what kinds of programs and what kinds of things happen at the VFW? Like if someone has a family member that is struggling or that kind of thing, where would the VFW point people to go to help with things? Because as we know, there's been significant issues and concerns with suicide among veterans and a lot of different major issues that are being that are coming to the forefront in the last decade or so. So what kinds of services are there, and where do you guys point people, and what should people know?
I personally usually point them to the Veteran Service Officer here in Scott County. You can just call them up, and there's actually two of them. They'll call you back. Derek and can't remember his name. I do know it, but that's all right. I can get it for you. Or you go down to, or we'll get them in touch down in Kansas City, where the national office has a lot more resources. Here in Shakopee, we don't have any resources, but we can tell you kind of where to go. If you need like crutches temporarily or a wheelchair, we know the contact for that. So you can always ask, and we might not be able to provide the answer directly, but we can point you in the right direction to somebody who can.
Right. And you guys have been, you specifically, you've been involved in different things that have been a lot of just really incredible veteran services issues and things that have been coming up with veterans court and different things like that have been happening over the course of the last few years here in Scott County. And I just really appreciate that work that you and everyone is doing.
Yeah, that's it's very important. Veterans Court is an avenue for local veterans to, if they get in trouble with the law, I don't want to use that as a very broad term. I don't know the specifics. The veteran needs to agree to this, and they, for a lighter sentence, or to keep them out of jail if they do this multi-month program and show that there will be rehabilitating. And the problem that this is trying to solve, veterans and veterans that have been overseas and exposed to trauma, while they may have made a bad decision, the part of that trauma could be part of the reason why they broke the law. Could be drinking or drugs or bad decisions or mental health. So this is an avenue so you just don't throw them in jail. And I've been a part of that on and off. And I think they're really doing a great job over there and really getting people through the program. And that's what really encouraged me. Nobody's getting stuck on, phase one. They're actually graduating the program. And it's actually, helping the local veteran community.
You and I got to hang out for a while one evening last summer. It was one of the only actual fun event kinds of things that we got to do last summer during the hell of COVID. And we hung out at Canterbury Park for a Project Evergreen fundraiser that was happening there. And Project Evergreen is a program that when I used to have my landscape company, we used to be really involved in, and would take care of lawns and snow removal for active military members who were overseas for their families and that kind of thing. So it was really great to be there for that fundraiser. Is that kind of thing happening this summer? Have you heard if that's continuing, or where are we at?
That is, off the top of my head, it's August 28th. It's going to be similar to last year, except for probably a whole lot more people, I hope, just because we won't have COVID restrictions. And that's just me being optimistic.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll be okay.
I think so too. And I'm excited. There's lots of great things. Toro is a big sponsor of this. They give lawnmowers and snow blowers and weed eaters and all kinds of fun things to raffle off. You can have a beer and just, kick back out in Canterbury and watch a couple of great bands. So it's a great time, and you're supporting veterans.
Yeah. And you and Senator Eric Pratt and I did a great job of drinking that night. That was
my wife drove. Yes.
It was a fun night. Yeah, it was a lot of music, and it was a really good thing. So we have so if anybody has questions or things you want to ask about the VFW and what's happening here in Shakopee, we have a question from Sarah about do you currently have any female veteran members at the VFW?
We do have female veteran members. There are approximately 130 members spread throughout the United States of the Shakopee Veterans VFW. We don't have enough active members. So if Sarah qualifies or just wants to come down and have a beer, that would be great. And we can talk about it if she wants to come on board.
I believe Sarah's a newer resident of Shakopee, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think that she would qualify for that. So it's good. And even if you don't, I highly recommend VFW burgers. That's a really good thing. When it's like Matt's bar where the griddle has been well seasoned for a few days.
Right, absolutely. I don't see how you can get a better burger in town. It's $8 for a cheeseburger and fries. I personally like onion rings. That's a $2 upcharge. So I get a cheeseburger and onion rings for $10. I don't see where you get that else in town. It's quick, it's easy. The beer is cold.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a good deal. Genevieve asks, how do you qualify to be a member of the VFW?
To qualify, you do have to be a member of the armed forces that were in a certain overseas area at a certain time. So Afghanistan, Iraq, those are pretty common, but Vietnam, Korea, some World War II veterans. But for instance, there's also Somalia, Bosnia, Korea, some other things that you might, Grenada, so that you might not think about. And if you go to Grenada now as an active duty member of the military, you're not going to get VFW status because it's not within that certain time frame. It has to be a certain time frame at a certain place, and it's on their website. And we actually do have to vet that. We need your DD 214, which is basically your active duty report card or permanent record. It shows where you've been. We have to verify that with which HQ, and then you can come on board. It's a really easy process, not super fast because we're ex-veterans of the government, I guess.
And John, in the comment section on our Facebook page, you're getting some kudos as well that from Jody that says John is a great community member. So do you want to comment on that? You want to affirm that one or no?
100% agree with that. I'm absolutely wonderful to be around and for the community.
I concur. And the beard is just an addition. The beard is amazing.
I'm also part of the Lions Club, which is a little bit bigger, more active part of the community, and being part of the VFW and the Veterans Honor Guard. It just shows this community is just full of great people, and it's easy to want to stay here and be involved.
Yeah, you couldn't be more spot on that it is really full of incredible people who just are constantly giving to get things done. And so it's a really, really great thing. And so especially with the Lions as well, all the stuff that people do is awesome. So what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions about the VFW that folks who haven't served and who aren't actively involved or have gone to the VFW, what do you think the people really should know about the VFW here in Shakopee?
Well, it's a great place to be. We already talked about the burgers and the cold beer, but everyone is welcome. It is a private club, but everyone, my kids and wife, they obviously aren't veterans. They go, my kids aren't veterans. They're 7 and 10. They come down there all the time. They got food for kids, and everybody's really nice and kid friendly. And I think the VFW might have a reputation of just being a bunch of old drunks sitting around by themselves, and that's not it at all. There's a couple of us down there, but we're really nice, and our family's there as well. So even if you're not a veteran, if you're just hungry, if you just want a beer or just want to check it out, we also have a fairly large back room and a large parking lot that folks can rent out, and hopefully we can get that up and running again soon. And we also, if you have a fundraiser, we always try to help the community whichever way we can.
And not this past winter, but the winter before, I think we must have squeaked it right in before COVID. Back in the back room at the VFW, we had what, at least from my perspective, was a really great, really well-attended meeting on marijuana and about the legal use of marijuana in Minnesota. And we centered a lot of that conversation around veterans and how it was really, at least for me, it was really impactful as to how many people showed up to talk about how critical to their lives the option and ability to use marijuana legally is to them and to veterans. And so it was really great to have that conversation there, the VFW. So thanks a lot for hosting that there and just making it such a really good experience for everybody.
We love doing things like that. Anything that we can do to help the community, we always try to do it to the best of our ability. I agree with you. That was a great conversation. That was well attended by a diverse amount of people that had different views, and everybody is really respectful and heard everybody out. I thought it was a very positive thing. I'm hoping that ball moves forward.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. It would be very nice if it would, but we have the Senate that is standing in the way of getting it done, and so there's a good possibility it'll pass the House yet this year, but it doesn't have a companion in the Senate to really get anything done. So I don't think that's going to happen, which is super unfortunate for a lot of different reasons. I think that would be a different. I'll schedule that one this summer as another Facebook.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. So good. So John, is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you want to make sure that people know about the VFW?
Yeah, I want to tell you on May 22nd, we're having our annual Hog Roast. Tickets are $10, and what you get is a plate of coleslaw and beans and pork sandwich. You can have as many as you want if you want to have a contest. There'll be some drink specials. There's going to be a personal friend of mine. His name's Steve Turner. He's an artist that lives down in Nashville and plays down there. He'll be playing. We'll have a tent out front. We're not going to do a silent auction or anything this year. So if you would like to support local veterans, please come on May 22nd to our Hog Roast. We'll start serving 4, but there's breakfast, there's bingo, there's meat raffle all day. It's a really fun time where you just kind of mill around and do different things, and come check it out. We'd appreciate it if you would do that.
John, is that a Saturday?
That's a Saturday.
Awesome. Good. Yeah, I'll make sure to share that a bunch on our Facebook page and make sure to send it out to everybody as well. So I'll get that out to folks. Another question I get from other people before I forget is what is the difference, if any, between the Legion and the VFW? And is there any sort of butting heads or turf wars on that?
Yeah. So there's 3 major difference organizations. The first one is called AMVETS, which any veteran could join. I don't see that a whole lot around the Minnesota area, but Northeast, that's pretty prevalent. Then there's the American Legion, and then there's the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And there's criteria to join this. Just recently, I think I'd call it 2 years ago, the Legion basically had the same, if you were served during this time. So it didn't matter where you were, but from 1988 to 2004, it's kind of choppy. So there's some veterans that fell through the cracks. About 2 years ago, they changed that. Basically, the bombing of Pearl Harbor up until now, if you're a veteran honorably discharged or medically discharged, you can be a member. You got to pay $35 a year, and you can be, you can stay, come and go as you like. Veterans of Foreign Wars is a little bit more restricted. You actually have to be overseas at a certain time, like I talked about Bosnia, Korea, Somalia, Iraq, at those certain times. So if you can be you can be eligible for the American Legion and not necessarily the VFW. But if you're eligible for the VFW, you're almost certainly eligible for the American Legion. And when you say if there's a conflict right there, we might make fun of each other a little bit, but we're all like, I'm a member of the American Legion as well. So a little bit, we help each other out. We take turns doing the Memorial Day program, paying for the lights on the helicopter at Memorial Park, doing our Flag Day ceremony where we retire the United States flag. That's another thing I'd like to talk about. If you have an old flag, you can take it down to the American, the VFW, and just hand it in, and we'll retire it on Flag Day, which we do a ceremony, we burn them. So with that, yeah, there's some good-hearted rivalry there, but in the end, we all help each other out. We're all on the same team. We're all on the same page. It's just different buildings that are really close to each other, so people get confused.
Got it. No, that is perfect. That is exactly what I think people needed to hear, is that everybody's working together to get good things done for veterans, the entire community. And isn't there some sort of, it might be the Legion, I remember it's the Legion, the VFW, that family members, extended family of veterans have some sort of membership?
Yeah, the American Legion has an auxiliary. So if you're not a veteran, you can join the auxiliary. I think they might even have a different couple types of auxiliary, Sons of the American Veterans or something like that. The VFW post in Shakopee 4046 had an auxiliary that didn't, and then recently they opened it back up and they decided not to. So there is no, but there are. If you would like to volunteer at the VFW, we get together and we put you on a list. Just come in and say, hey, my name's John, and next time you're doing something, let me know. Like for the Hog Roast, we could probably use an extra hand or two. If not, just come check it out. So there's not like a formal VFW auxiliary in Shakopee, but other VFW posts might have a more formal auxiliary.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John. It is, I really appreciate your time and coming to hang out with us. He just got back from a road trip, so he's back from that and looking really, really good. So thank you very much for being here with us and for talking through what's really important. Actually, I forgot one thing that I wanted to talk about was the new Veterans Clinic that just there was a ribbon cutting for the Veterans Clinic that it just moved from the mall to a new location at Marystown and 169. And I haven't been in there myself yet, but I've heard that it is really, really nice and a gorgeous place and a really great asset for our community.
Yeah, that's exciting that they're upgrading and investing in the VA, in the local VA system.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we got that in Shakopee while I was mayor. I worked really closely while I was mayor with Congressman John Klein. And John Klein was adamant that it should be in Shakopee because we have so many veterans, and when we looked at the demographics of it, it was really important. And so that everybody from south, from Jordan and St. Peter and down that direction, and Montgomery and La Center, and those places are able to come to a centralized location. So it's really good to have that here in our community and serving a lot of folks. So that is good to have that and keep moving. So awesome. Well, thanks a lot, John. I really appreciate it. And everybody stick around for a little bit and we will talk about a couple other things and then be done for the night. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, John.
All right, thanks, Brad.
I'm going to toss you back in the waiting room where you can go, John, whatever you want to do. John left. All right. So I wanted to get back. We have a lot of really, really great things going on campaign-wise. It is awesome. So I started personally door knocking tonight. I want to door knock for a couple weeks just to get a feel for it and see how things are going and how it's happening. And so Sean, we had somebody commenting. I lost the comment. Give me just a second. Sean, who I met door knocking tonight, who has said we're doing live and we're focusing on the community. We focus on Shakopee and we focus as a campaign on what's important and what we care about in Shakopee, and not partisan, not forcing people to their corners, not that kind of thing. So I'm really proud of what we're doing and what our awesome team is putting together and getting done. So it's really, really great. So there's a lot of great things going on right now, and so would love your help with the campaign. So there's we're starting to do a lot of volunteer things, getting going. We have a food distribution that we're going to help out with Esperanza and Cap Agency from our campaign perspective. That is on May 21st. And so let me check to make sure that's the right date. Yes, sorry, May 21st is the right date there. And so that is good. And we're going to have a lot more of these things coming up. And so it's really important that people get involved and active. So from our campaign side of things, we're going to work, especially this summer, really hard to be noticed. Alicia, you are the best. We're going to work really hard to be noticed and make sure that we're out in the community showing what true community service is, and how we work together for our neighbors, how we work together and value our family members and friends, and the different things that are going on in our community, and not what's going on in other places, not what's going on political scale of things, but how we make each other's lives better on a day-to-day basis. And so that's what we are going to focus on as a campaign, and not worry about all the other things happening and all the things outside of us. And so Sean, thanks for being in the comments here. Sean moved here from LA, and I was door knocking in a new neighborhood to Shakopee, which I had the privilege of being part of the planning phases while I was mayor. And so it was really, really awesome to go door knock in that neighborhood for the first time. And so it's a lot of folks who've moved in from LA, from Richfield, from other parts of Shakopee, who have moved to this area, and just talk about why people love Shakopee and why people care about our community and what we want to do together. And so that's going to be the focus of our campaign. That's going to be the focus of where we want to go with things and what we want to get done. So it is super, super awesome to have everybody here. And we will be back in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from today, we're going to be doing these every other Monday. And so we've got a lot of different great things lined up. The next one in 2 weeks from today, we are going to talk about summer, and we're going to talk about summer big events in Shakopee. And so we have the CEO of Canterbury Park, as well as the CEO of Valley Fair will be here with us to talk about those two organizations and what they expect to see throughout the summer, and how they want things to go, and just how excited they are to be in our community and be part of everything. So we've got those folks with us in 2 weeks, and I hope to have you back soon. And if you have any ideas as to have things we should be talking about, or things that we should be doing here or with the campaign, I would really appreciate you reaching out. Just use the comment section, use direct messages, or if you go to tabkey4mn.com/connect, you can get to everything there. So last things are volunteering. Alicia put the volunteer link on there. We are organizing. This is our summer of organizing and our getting people together who care about the same things. And so we really want to move forward with that so that we can make the world a better place. And so go to tabkey4mn/volunteer to sign up to volunteer and help us. It's door knocking is awesome. I love, love, love door knocking. It restores my faith in humanity. It, as I was telling people, Katie told me tonight that I'm happier than I've been in weeks, which I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a pretty good indication as to how much I like door knocking, because when you get into politics and we get into social media, I have a firm belief that social media is not real. Facebook, what happens on Concerned Citizens, that's not real. That's people pushing to their corners and saying, this is everybody over here and this is everybody over there. And that's not who people are. There's a whole huge slice of people in the middle who just want the world to be a better place for their kids, for their neighbors, for their friends. And that's who we want to talk with and make sure we are hearing and listening to them and making sure that voices are being heard. And so that's what we do as a campaign. And so door knocking is great. It's wonderful. You'll run into some people that don't agree with you, but as long as you're kind, generally they'll be kind back to you. And so it's not the same thing as arguing with somebody on Facebook. It's a really great thing. So make sure to sign up so that you can get to know what's going on in the campaign, how you can help. You'll get invited soon to a super special Facebook group that we've got going on just for our team. So that's going to happen very soon as well. And then donating. So if you haven't donated yet, please go to tabkey4mn.com/recurring. And what that does is a recurring donation happens now in May. It'll also happen again next May, or monthly if you choose to do monthly. And so a couple can donate up to $100 a year and have that completely refunded by the state of Minnesota. An individual can donate $50 a year and have that completely refunded by the state of Minnesota. So you can donate $50 to our campaign within a month, a couple weeks, get $50 back. And so it's cost you $0 to donate to our campaign. And it's a really, really great program. And what the reason why it exists is to help keep big money out of our campaigns. And so we have an opponent that's going to have a lot of money from far, far right, dark groups coming in that we just won't be able to compete with. So I need your help in order to do that. And so if you have the ability to lend us $50 or $100 and do that on a recurring basis, so we make sure to maximize your donation, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So tadkey4mn.com/donate is just one, but /recurring gets you an easier way to get to the recurring donation. So thanks a lot, Alicia, for both of those things. So love you all. If you need anything, please let me know, but I will see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night.